I'll be presenting on Woolworths, Emotional Intelligence and Diversity. Woolworths was actually started in Sydney in 1924. The retail company actually continues to undergo various transformations to increase its capacity to handle the needs of its customers better. By 2016, the company had more than 3,000 stores all over the world and a staff team of more than 205,000 employees who provide services to over 29 million customers on a weekly basis. The company has actually managed to earn the trust of an extensive range of people, ranging from business partners to thousands of local manufacturers and farmers. Emotional intelligence is the actual quality in every individual. It affects how people manage their behaviour, make personal decisions and navigate through social complexities. Quote by Bradbury 2014. Woolworths is a large company. It's made up of various departments. People working at all levels of the enterprise have to maintain high levels of emotional intelligence and to ensure the smooth running of daily procedures. Interacting with fellow workers or those in top management may result in conflicts, especially in situations where two or more people do not actually share an opinion. The skills achieved through emotional intelligence allow individuals to understand and respect other people's point of view, which is essential in actually avoiding conflict. Emotional intelligence leads to self-awareness. A healthy sense of awareness among the Woolworth employees and those in top management is necessary for understanding the strengths and weakness of every person and also how individual actions affect others. Also, self-aware people are in a better position to understand constructive criticism, quote by DeLorean 2015. Emotional intelligence allows employees at Woolworths to understand that correction from their leaders is not meant to demean them. Adhering to such guidelines allow the staff members to grow, which leads to the overall growth of the company. Emotional intelligence also has other benefits for Woolworths. For example, the quality has allowed the employees at the company to achieve self-motivation. Money is not the only motivator for the staff members. Self-motivation actually makes the workers remain optimistic and resilient during times of disappointments. Motivation provides a drive that's based on personal ambitions. Emotionally intelligent people have the skills necessary to build long-term lasting relations within themselves and others. Woolworths' duties are carried out by teams. Healthy relations among the team members make it possible to avoid behaviours that have adverse effects on the company, such as power struggles. The application of emotional intelligence within the company has seen the company increase its sale over the past few years. Woolworths Supermarket has used emotional intelligence to ensure that its leadership has brought around what is most suitable for the company in terms of perceiving employees' and clients' emotion, to understand their signals regarding their needs and preferences to manage their requirements. When we talk about diversity, we can see that Woolworths is an organisation which encourages diversity in the workplace, as they want the employees to feel valued and respected regardless of their age, gender, ethnicity, beliefs, disability, etc. Following a review of the customer feedback, Woolworths understand that Australia is currently undergoing significant demographic changes. Therefore, they're listening to their customers and providing customer service, utilising people that reflect the various communities. In 2015-16, the organisation continued reviewing their strategies and goals to ensure they support a culture of diversity and inclusion. The results show that more than half of the total workforce is female, and the Woolworths board is actually split equally between male and female, or 50-50. With the intention of addressing gender pay gap issues, Woolworths is undertaking extensive work and analysis to understand any salary wage gaps. As such, they've developed a diversity and inclusion strategy to drive improvement in this area, and this was launched in November 2016, which is due to deliver a significant step change towards closing that gap. Thank you.
Hi, my name is taghrid. With technological advancement around the world, the business has guaranteed to take advantage in harnessing in the global market through the cultural intelligence. Different clientele employees might come from different countries, and thus the necessity of ensuring the globalization is attainable through comprehension of cultural intelligence. The abundance of cultural intelligence reduces the instance of lying debt, and in turn has in place an amicable bridge building mechanism that invariably needs to effectuate change globally. Cultural intelligence is a platform in which management can suspend judgment of proposals of thinking before taking a course of action. It is essential in ensuring that there is an elaborate registration of personalities with whom one is interacting, and it allows for anticipatory aspect in waiting to respond similar situation, which culture intelligence, the collaborative venture that leadership of the company has delivered, have outshined a previous investment, and in turn, it has brought about amicability in cooperative activities that has spearheaded the global delivery. Cultural development has been the platform in which there is the trend globalization goes through competition, dynamism, complexity, and effective functioning with the cultural context. Employees are mostly apprised on the benefit of cultural intelligence in a bid to ensure there is a bridge in divide and intellectual gaps within company. The main reason is for the mere fact that there is a peer education regarding culture differences, knowledge transfer to spread props and multicultural aspects of the workplace. The move has ensured that there is innovative and creative ventures on ways to maximize sales. Cultural intelligence refers to a set of shared value and assumptions that are used to differentiate various groups. The greatest challenge in understanding cultural intelligence is seeing beyond national stereotypes. The stereotypes are based on values, belief, attitudes, custom, and practices, dress code, mannerism, physical appearance, and other ways of life that has been learned over lifetime and passed from one generation to another. In the business of world, defining culture in this context is incorrect. Woolworths has understand the importance of understanding the culture and the impact it entails the global working environment. Culture training, global leadership, or international management programs are provided to those top management to help them prepare and support their company internationally. Woolworths has retail stores located all over the world and in high numbers of staff members from different cultures. Cultural intelligence provides the core and social skills that help in respecting people regardless of their culture. Woolworths is aware of the global world of business rapidly changing. Therefore, there is a need to cross not only international borders, but also the cultural boundaries. Through Woolworths was started in Australia, the company cannot survive without collaborating and cooperating with other countries. In the retail world, acquiring new information, new technology, and new ventures are critical for the development and expansion of Woolworths. With the concept of reduction of the cultural division globally, the company has gone an extra mile in ensuring that there is an organizational sector generational phase in the geographical difference crafted for the bridge covered. By selling product that covers the different needs of different people, the leadership has been on the forefront in ensuring that boundaries are crossed with various cultures in a bid to ensure that there are effective communication and diversification of networks as necessary to solving a given problem or in spearheading in a given idea. Cultural difference has been in a challenge in leadership, but Woolworths has made strides in ensuring that historical within the company does not become a threat, but rather than inspiring, enriching, exciting, and creative venture. The leadership of the company has made it clear in its cultural code that there is a need for consistent improvement and development of cultural intelligence in a bid to improve the life of the employees, and it has spearheaded the ideas through experience, imparting knowledge. Collaboration has proved to be an essential part of the business to fulfill its sales, marketing, and finance requirements. Cultural intelligence has given the management to leeway of ensuring that new ideas, way, process, and venture are incorporated with the confines of the company. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Houd Marabi, and I'll be presenting about a company listed on Australian Stock Exchange, which is called Australian Vintage. This company has had a high potential for performance in the future with regards to the current performances. The entity has had to deal with high cost of termination of a vineyard lease contract and the effects of the foreign exchange losses incurred due to the volatility in the British currency after the Brexit vote from the European Union. This move had a financial effect on the firm due to the geographical area of its operations. I'll now delve into its financial assessment of the income statement. Australian Vintage experiences a drop in sales turnover from 129.6 million, which was recorded in 2015, to 119 million, which was recorded in 2015, late 2015. This represents an 8% decline in the sales revenue. A revenue decline was measured at 18% in the UK European markets and a 2% decline in the Australia and North American markets. The firm records an increase in net income for the year ended in December 2016 from 7.1 million to 7.2 million, before the adjustment of the lease of the termination of cost of 9.2 million, which realizes a net loss for the firm. The company, however, made a strategic move as the termination of the vineyards enabled an annual saving in grape costs worth 5 million, which ultimately weighs the cost of non-termination of the lease. The company general production is forecasted to be 1.61 million tons of grapes and a wine production capacity of 1.31 billion liters. A longer period analysts illustrate the revenue jump from 208 million to 230 in 2013 to 231 million in 2015 to 242 million in 2016, at 16.4% increases in the revenue amount from June 2013 to June 2016. The net income, on the other hand, also increased from 70.7 million in 2013 to 90.37 million in 2015. Then it decreased to 1.97 in 2016. All of the figures are recorded for June in each financial year. This represents a 32% decrease in the net profit for the firm from 2013 to 2015, and then decrease in net profit to a loss of by 121%. This loss for the financial period ended in June 2016 and is attributed to the vineyard termination costs and the foreign exchange losses realized during that period. This, however, is a move to increase the net savings by 5 million annually. The firm indicates financial growth over time. The last financial year ended in June 2016 and indicates a net margin of 2.43% and a positive return of investment of 1.45%, which are profitably indicators for the company despite the issues faced at the particular point in time. An interesting fact about the company is the gearing ratios. The firm has a long-term debt to the equity of 38.6% and a total debt to equity ratio of 38.75%. Above the ratios indicate the firm has a relatively high gearing ratio. The ratios also show a higher proportion of debt to equity in the firm's capital structure. The debt is advantageous to the firm through the benefit of obtaining tax deductions on projects financed through debt. This results in higher net profits, which are possible strategy employed by the Australian Vintage. Australia Vintage is a relatively fast-paced growing firm with a moderate current performance but a very promising future financial aspect. The firm has had some liabilities to manage and offset, which adversely affects the financial outlook in the short term, but the firm has a poised growth trajectory which might be suitable for investment. The issue of dividends, despite the one-time loss for the offsetting or the onerous lease provides investor confidence and motivation to further invest. An ideal conclusive advice decision would be to analyze the market carefully and estimate the gains to be made on the investment rather than the investment. The firm is likely to post a high performance and give a high return on the investment as per the financial outlook. The diversification of markets across Europe from Australia increases to overall sales, hence increasing the net output. The resultant net loss for the 2016 period had the effect of lowering intrinsic value, which subsequently lowers the value of the stock of the firm. This represents a potential opportunity for an investor to capitalize on investment in the firm. Based on the prior performance of which contingent obligations that cut into the firm's profit, the value is projected to go higher with increased retained earnings value. The Australian Vintage is one of the largest wine producing firms, growing rapidly. With the short-term challenges being dealt with, the firm is well positioned, particularly with the setting up of a strong foundation to the elimination of short and long-term liabilities. This strategic move positions the firm for the future without contingents or obligations regularly faced in the business life cycle. This provides room for growth and expansion, which has already been started by the company's top executive management. Backed by specific elite intellectuals, the company is projected to have some competent management that delivers, which also reflects in the previous financials. The company features a solid management and board of directors responsible for the management and administrative and communication functions. Better corporate communicative enables faster delivery of services and hence enabling the Vintage workforce to remain competitive and steadfast. The incremental gross profit sales turnover and positive margins, positive liquidity ratios, and a relatively stable asset base, moderate gearing level of about 35% projected in 2017, positions the firm strategically for a strong financial base with the consideration of all possible adverse effects of externalities. The Australia Vintage has the ability and the opportunity to advance into other markets across the globe, despite the stiff competition that may be lodged from other brands. Quality brands almost guarantee success, with popular examples like the McGain, Templar 2, and the Nipathy. The limitation the firm may face might be potential non-performance in the foreign markets due to the recent entry, which might require the firm to buy time before full stabilization. A specific limitation that stems from the presentation is the lack of specific contingency plan to hedge against future externalities such as the Brexit. May have been additional weaknesses and limitations. These aspects revolve around the firm's SWOT analysis, thus helping the investor make the correct financial decision. The firm, however, is a potential and prudent investment destination for potential investor with the financial parameters analyzed suggesting a sound financial outlook of the firm. The strength attributed to the development of the firm outweighs the weaknesses and major threats. What is more, the consumer groups feature different needs, opportunities, and expectations, something which Vintage has managed to address in their respective wine brands. Very high quality wine within the Australia, Europe, and the UK enjoys some of the preference in the markets, thus elaborating an oligopolistic market for these range of wines. Branded wines such as the McGain may be Australian, but enjoys unprecedented sales and market within the foreign markets such as Europe and the UK. I hope this was helpful for potential investors and for fellow classmates. Thank you for listening.